Don't just be another foreigner, be a local Laowai. In case you missed our last 4 episodes on art and dance, check out this handy review.
Like many other sectors of contemporary Chinese society, the art districts that have sprung up in cities like Chengdu, Beijing, and Shanghai are a confluence of old and new. And Beijing's 798 Art District, where we've come today, is no different. When you first arrive at 798, you'll notice a lot of relatively nondescript, old, even dilapidated looking buildings. That's because these buildings you're seeing around us were actually factories that were set up by East German and Russian engineers back in the revolutionary era of the 1950s. The factory's military code name? 798, of course. Starting in the early 2000s, artists seeking generous workspace and cheap rent away from the city center set up what they thought at the time was just a temporary residence here at 798. But once they moved in, nobody was moving back out. 798 was purposefully set up away from the city center. Although Beijing's Airport Express metro line is opened up not too far away, it would still be difficult to get here without taking a taxi or a local bus.
Art districts like 798 offer their visitors the swanky atmosphere of upscale bars and restaurants. The galleries themselves, however, usually charge no admission. Much of the artwork you can enjoy here is themed around the revolutionary era in which the area was originally constructed.
Some of China's most popular tourist sites are also museums as well. Take Beijing's Palace Museum, for example. It's also known as the Forbidden City. However, the problem is a lot of these places have a relatively hefty ticket price. For the most popular areas, you're liable to pay anywhere from 50 to 150 renminbi just for entrance. If you're a student, make sure to bring your ID. You'll get a student discount.
Besides tourist site museums, China is also host to many world-class traditional art and history museums, like the National Museum of China right on Tiananmen Square.
Although they don't share quite the same budget, provincial and municipal level museums offer their specialized attention to a specific region or topic. Whether you're in a sleek, ultra-modern museum or a local gallery on a budget, one thing these official museums have in common is the relatively low admission price. In fact, most of them are totally free. Whether you're in a gleaming international metropolis or off the beaten path in the countryside, you're sure to find dance.
In big cities like Beijing here, it's more obvious where to go for professional dance performances. The National Theater and the famous Tianqiao Theater are 2 great examples.
Outside of the first-tier cities, you'll still be able to find theaters. Each province and even most municipalities will have its own official theater called 剧场 in Chinese that can meet your dance performance needs. Here in China, you'll be able to enjoy an international mix of dance, like ballet, for example. In fact, a Chinese ballet was famously performed for President Nixon during his historic trip to China back in 1972. Besides being able to just see Chinese performances, China frequently hosts international dance companies from virtually all over the world. Places like Spain, Brazil, Korea, who all come here as part of cultural exchange programs. For dance lovers, there's arguably no better place to be in the world than Beijing. If you're simply looking for a cheap and easy way to get out there and do some dancing, you could go to a public park. On any given evening, you're liable to find dozens of people out there doing all different sorts of dances.
Fitness centers commonly provide dance lessons, and most of the time, these will be free to members.
A couple of great Chinese sites for finding deals on dance classes are Ganji.com and Lasho.com. And there are even sites in English that cater to the expat market, such as IJustWannaBuy.com.
Huh, these sites are great, but what sort of dance classes are we talking about? Do they have anything in my own modern style?
I'm not quite sure anybody does dance like you do, Paul. But what you will find are a lot of Latin dance or 拉丁舞, jazz dance called 爵士舞, and if you really want to study the art, you can come to professional studios like LDTX here and study modern dance. In Chinese, 现代舞.
Now that sounds interesting. When do we start?
As you can see, Paul and I need a little bit more work. That's it for this review on enjoying art and dance local Laowai style. Remember to check out our website for full videos of each of these episodes, and if you have any specific questions, comments, or concerns, shoot me an email at locallawai@bon.tv. I'm Donnie Newman, and we'll see you next time on Local Laowai.